The deflated football scandal continues to build pressure for the New England Patriots. Patriots head coach Bill Belichick has denied having prior knowledge or any involvement in deflating game balls during last week's AFC Championship. A friend to the U.S. and a world leader, revered by many, has passed away. Saudi Arabia's King Abdullah is dead at the age of 90. His funeral will be today. His half-brother Prince Salman is taking the throne. Governor Walker wants to require drug testing for public aid recipients. The potential presidential candidate says drug testing requirements and benefit restrictions will be included in his 2-year budget proposal. In consumer news, C&R Brands is recalling more than 83,000 bottles of Mean Green Super Strength and Industrial Strength Cleaner and Degreaser. The product says it does not contain ammonia, but they're mislabeled and do contain ammonia. A check of your Skywarn 13 forecast coming up next. The school is operating at 15 megabytes, much lower than the recommended 100 by the Education Superhighway. Is it hard to look at that picture?
It is. It's very hard. It's saddening almost. It gives me a new appreciation for where I'm at now, though. It really does. Yeah.
In 2 months.
In 2 months, yeah. That's amazing.
Water just may be the new gold as the battle over the Flathead Valley's water, some of the cleanest and purest in the nation, continues today. Monday brought strong wind gusts to Lake McDonald. Whitecaps could actually be seen over the lake. The backpack program serves about 400 children each week. Inside the bags are nutritious items like cereal, milk, and juice. 3 helicopters are attacking the fire, and as you can see behind me, this is Thompson River. They're filling up their buckets right here. I'm standing at the trailhead of the Sperry Chalet, where excitement is buzzing. Just this week, we learned a Great Falls contractor won the construction bid and of a $12 million boost towards the project from the federal government. It's Kalispell's newest elementary school, the first one. It's built in 30 years. Will welcome nearly 400 students. Dominic wasn't here because he's in Denver going through chemotherapy and radiation. He has a good prognosis, and he knows the students, teachers, and principal here at Evergreen Junior High are a cut above the rest. For its superior quality and health benefits, Mr. Weaver says he wants to bring artesian water to Montana shelves. Life among neighbors was once peaceful in the quiet farming community of Creston. But that sense of community was interrupted by something they share in common, an artesian well flowing underneath them.
There's a tremendous aquifer under this valley, and especially in this area here in the Creston area. And I have an artesian well that has been in the Pedersen family for over 2 generations that has been flowing. We've had the water tested many times.
Lou Weaver owns the Montana Artesian Water Company. The water bottling plant is on property which he bought more than 30 years ago. He says water tests reveal the artesian water flowing underneath his property is comparable to artesian waters with world-class reputations.
It's a very good quality water, extremely good quality water. The composition of minerals in pure artesian water and our pH are a real good match for good drinking water, a healthy drinking water.
As you can see, our bottles are pre-manufactured and delivered to us in volume.
Weaver says he's been teasing the idea of tapping into the aquifer since the early 90s.
Our packaged bottles.
We are not removing or adding any type of minerals to the water, as some of the natural waters have. Most water is processed or purified. Pure artesian water is just the water coming out of the ground. It's filtered. It goes through an ultraviolet process to make sure that there's no bacteria, and then we'll be bottling it.
But his dream is at the expense of the sense of community he once shared with his neighbors. They're not sure he has a small family business in mind. One concern, he would sell the company to a bigger corporation like Nestle. The worst fears of some of the people who oppose Montana Artesian are that Nestle is going to buy it out, or Is
Well-
there any truth to that?
No, there is not, to my knowledge. I have talked to different water companies to see if they're interested in having a line of artesian water, because a lot of the larger companies do not have pure artesian water, they have processed water. Spring water has become very popular the last number of years, but it's not my plan to do that.
In January, the company was granted preliminary approval for a water rights permit to produce around 1.2 billion 20-ounce bottles annually. When can we expect to get our first taste of Montana artesian water?
I don't have that exact date available for you, but we're hoping that soon we'll have Montana artesian water available for people.
It could end up in the hands of Flathead County voters to decide. The issue will be on the June 5th primary election ballot. On special assignment, Nicole Miller, MTN News. The Wi-Fi tower was supposed to be the solution to the unreliable and inconsistent internet. However, with the first day of school rapidly approaching, there is still no resolution.
We have 6 computers in my classroom that we use every day. Each one of my students has an iPad that they have access to all day long. We use it all day, every day.
With school starting next week, teacher Ariana Hess concerned the school doesn't have reliable Wi-Fi internet.
The goal for every school and every teacher is to make your kids college and career ready. And so without reliable internet access, it's hard to keep Creston School running at the same level that kids in other districts are able to get.
The school is operating at 15 megabytes, much lower than the recommended 100 by the Education Superhighway. To solve the issue, Creston School has proposed building a 118-foot Wi-Fi tower. But not all agree that's the answer, especially those who live near where the tower is proposed.
My major concern here with this tower going up is health and food and radiation on my food and our livestock and our chickens and other animals.
And the realtors state that the properties are staying on the market longer if they're in the vicinity of the tower, and they drop down their value by up to 22%.
Principal of Creston School, Tammy Ward, says she hopes to find a resolution.
We did explore alternatives. This has been a multi-month process of using the Education Superhighway to explore getting fiber in our school, and we felt like this was the most fiscally responsible and for our community that would provide our students with the education tools that they needed.
The school is collecting public comment on the proposal through August 30th. In Creston, Nicole Miller, MTN News.